my singles and tag team competitors. This is the SmackDown. Oh, we're joined by Coach by a late surprise. I love you, Coach.
Sorry, I'm tardy to the party.
Oh, we just started, baby. You're all good. I was doing the introduction, but like I said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the SmackDown Throwdown, Lowdown, Hangdown, hang it out down, bring it around town, all around downtown, baby. I am your host, the freakiest of all the bookers and the freakiest of all the hosts, Fritos, and I'm joined with the CEO of We Book It, the brother of destruction, who has a lovely title in that corner back there, the man, the myth, Virgil.
Good day, everybody. Welcome into the We Book It podcast. Obviously, this is your SmackDown Lowdown, Hoedown, Rowdown, Toedown, Modown. I'm happy to be here with you.
Hey, we don't hoe down around here. No.
I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry.
We're taking men.
It's your show. I'm sorry. I apologize.
We're taking men.
All right.
We do not hoe down unless it's for Rhea.
I'll remove myself in 2 seconds for this.
And then I am with my wise man, Coach. I love you, Coach!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's always a pleasure to be back with you today. And, of course, just remember to believe in yourself.
And in Joe Hendry. Virgil, you could come back in. I know you're eating your delicious bowl of cereal. Were you eating Cocoa Puffs?
No, it was ground turkey and cream cheese and bell peppers.
Damn, son. Get them gains.
Yeah, a little Kato for your boy.
I want you to pick me up and slam me down like a hoe. All right, but now we're back to the serious talk.
Good. Well,
there's a hoe down.
There is no better
look at the
Friday night. There is no better way to spend a Friday night than with these two fellas. Big Daddy C is tending to some family issues. Well, it ain't issues. I think his family's just
in town.
He's got family visiting.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we have a SmackDown tonight. We start off the show with Paul Heyman and basically saying that your reigning, defending, undisputed tribal chief Roman Reigns is entering into the Royal Rumble and called out Cody and to let him know that he is entering in the Royal Rumble and that he is your undisputed tribal chief. Then we get interrupted by Kevin Owens saying how this is totally unfair that Roman's doing this. How dare you help him out? Then just saying how he's bad for the company. Kelsey, stop. When the dogs are trying to break in. Huh. and Cody goes out. Then out of nowhere, Tama and Jacob Fatu came out and were surrounding Paul Heyman, which we were expecting an attack. Then out of nowhere, Jimmy came out and saved him. Then was getting the living crap beat out of him. Then Cody came out through the crowd to help save Jimmy, which then eventually led to security kicking the new bloodline out. Fatu taking out security and telling one skinny feller saying, "Are you really going to do this? You should be afraid of yourself right now." Then out of nowhere, LA Knight throwing Fatu out, saying he was not using his inside voice, so I took the trash out. Now I got to win me a title. Yeah. I thought it was a good way to start the show. Your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, it was a pretty good way to start the show. I did like the fact that I feel like a lot of the writers now feel free to be able to write mass chaos to begin the show, just as a hook to tell a story throughout the show or to keep people interested during the show. I do want to say, I love what they're doing with Jacob Fatu. Once again, like I said, I just think that he is just off the charts, unbelievable. He is the closest thing to what we can call a phenom in the wrestling business these days with the stuff he's able to do. He is probably your next phenom, and probably either him or Braun Breaker. But both of them are just are money to me. But yeah, I really enjoy everything that Jacob Fatu does.
Yeah, solid way to start the show. I'm with you, Virgil. I think the Jacob Fatu, I'm just waiting for them to skyrocket him to the moon with what he's doing. I liked the little twist that they put in there with LA Knight getting involved. I thought that was a nice little foreshadowing for what happened later on in the show. But I wouldn't mind seeing those two go at it in an actual match. But the main question was, what are Fatu and Tonga going to do now that Solo's not their tribal chief? And we kind of got somewhat of an answer with that tonight. They're just going to raise hell.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Pretty much left to their own devices now. Nobody leading them, nobody guiding them. This could end up with them being led and guided by somebody else. Somebody coming in as a third to kind of be their new leader. And then they essentially end up probably taking out Solo Sikoa as well. I think all those things are viable for this, but yeah, I digress. Spoiler alert. Show goes downhill from here.
We'll find out next week, because later on the show, we found out Solo Sikoa was not there, but he is returning next Friday in SmackDown. So it's leading a lot of, ideas where he's going to come out and then maybe the new bloodline attacks him. I can see Fatu become the new leader. And maybe eventually they'll bring Zilla and form their new bloodline faction and change it up.
Change the name, too. Leave that bloodline shit alone.
Mm-hmm. Just call them the werewolves. Or the mad ones.
I was just thinking that.
Ooh, the mad ones. That's a good one. I'll take credit if they use that. I mean, they still have my ideas anyways. I mean, I am the booker of the year.
Yeah, that's debatable, but okay.
Oh, whatever.
But we digress.
I digress. Which leads us to our first match of the night. It was Chelsea Green coming out with Piper Niven dressed up as a Secret Service. I'm really digging this new gimmick, this U.S. president thing we got going on. Take notes, MJF. This is how you do a U.S. president gimmick theme here. And having a rematch with Michin for the U.S. Women's title. Fairly decent match, but eventually Chelsea Green rolled Michin up, holding her by the tights for a quick 3 count. Then afterwards, Michin was upset. Then Piper laid her out and then carried on. I thought it was a fairly quick match that happened, having the end of the result. And I'm really digging this new Chelsea Green gimmick and her being a champion. Your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, no, Chelsea Green is money. She finally got something she could sink her teeth into. She is the prototypical WWE superstar. She is what you look for. She can play a character. She can play a role. She can be an accompanying role, or she can be the main part of that role. And right now, she is the United States Women's Champion, and she's playing her role, and she's doing a good job. And Piper Niven is bought in too. They are WWE superstars. This is what they do. Again, she also can go in the ring, so that helps. But I love that she's still using her cheating tactics to win and retain her championship. And I just want to see how long she can hold on to it. And they, like I said, that I'm cool with the Michin thing, but eventually, I think it'll probably end up being Piper that takes that belt from her. How did you guys feel about? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm not running the show. I keep forgetting that. Sorry, Fritos. I'm sorry. I'm not used to Friday nights. I'll shut up.
It's fine. I won't take you out. I don't have that ability yet.
Yeah, this wasn't their best match that they've had together. I still like their Saturday night main events match that they did. But this one told the story. Michin is starting to turn desperate for that U.S. title, and we kind of saw that at the end of the match. So I think this is probably going to go one more time. I don't think they're going to pull the trigger, though, for Michin to win. I think they're going to keep the belt on Chelsea Green, but I think this could just be a character development thing going down the line for Michin now, of that she is becoming obsessed with that title, even though she can't reach it. So I'm curious to see how this goes, but it was an all right match.
Like a woman's version of Chad Gable?
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking.
Mm-hmm. I might even turn her heel off of that. That wouldn't be a bad thing either. If she turned on B-Fab, start beating her up or something like that, because B-Fab gets that United States Women's Championship match.
Mm-hmm.
I dig it. Yeah. Then leading into a segment, then to our next match, we had Pretty Deadly and El Gato del Fantasma. Nailed it, by the way. Yeah.
Way better than I would do. Way better than I would do.
And Motor City Machine Gun arguing who should be the next up for DIY's Tag Team Championship. Arguing with in front of Nick, Then eventually A-Town Down Under coming in and arguing as well, which led to 2 matches tonight with El Del Fantasma, as I screw it up right now as I drinks myself, versus Pretty Deadly.
Drinks yourself too, huh?
Yeah. Then later on in the night, we had Motor City Machine Gun versus A-Town Down Under. Of the first match, we have
Legato.
Escobar's group there. I'm in there because I keep jinxing. I'm in my head now. I got the yips. Got the damn yips. Versus Pretty Deadly.
You did it to yourself, bro.
I know, I did. The match kind of started off all botchy a little bit, but then later on, they got everything back on pace. Pretty Deadly was thinking that DIY was going to help him out because they had that secret deal going on. Never did, but eventually Escobar's group won the match. I thought it was a decent match. I mean, nothing really to high note. I mean, they got great chemistry in the ring. I mean, they're great tag teams, but nothing really stuck out to me really too much.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, it was kind of a sloppy match, but it was nice to see Los Garzas get the win, and I think they're right now Pretty Deadly is that comic relief. They'll have their moment soon, but right now I think they're trying to build up some reputable tag teams for DIY and in that division. But Pretty Deadly's time, it's coming. Just it won't be for the next couple months, I bet.
If not, maybe when they transfer over to Raw, because they were kind of a little bit teasing that a bit.
Yeah.
I think that would be the best option for them.
Or send them back to NXT and have them join with Prince Pretty himself. Gosh, what's his name? I am blanking on his name right now. He's take pictures.
Tyler Breeze?
Tyler Breeze, thank you. Yes, Tyler Breeze, and have them create a faction together where he's leading them or whatnot, and then like I said, all 3 of them together, and they could really run NXT and have a really good run there. I mean, again, the way that they are positioned in NXT, I mean, The Rock, for God's sakes, was on NXT this past week. They almost popped 1 million views for the first time. 1 million viewers for the first time in forever. And like I said, I mean, so it was a really big show. CW is actually running that show up against Collision tomorrow night, a rerun, and they're going to try to see if they could beat him with a rerun. But which is really petty, honestly, by Shawn Michaels and Triple H, very fucking petty. But besides that, though, it's no longer considered a demotion to go back to NXT. It's almost like you can go back, you can really work on your craft. You may do some shows at the Performance Center, but they're traveling just like WWE is. I mean, so it's no longer looked at as a demotion when you go back there. I mean, hell, Becky Lynch went back there a year and a half ago and won the NXT Women's Championship just because she didn't have anything to do on the main roster right now because everybody else is so high. So I mean, Pretty Deadly going back and rehoning their craft a little bit, putting a new coat of paint on everything, and then also joining up with Prince Pretty himself, Tyler Breeze. I think there's no shame in that. I think they absolutely should look at doing something like that. Just because, I mean, I can't take them seriously right now if you're trying to put them in the tag team chase for the titles.
You're right. Yeah, might as well.
I said a lot of words there, Fritos. I'm sorry.
That's fine. It's okay. I respect it. I love you. That's why you're here. I'm just a pretty face. You're the mouth. Yeah. Well, Then this is leading up to our next match, the U.S. men's title.
This is my last Freaky Friday. I promise y'all. I'm not doing this no more.
We need you. You make Freaky Friday better.
I'm not doing this no more with you, Fritos. I'm not. It's my last Friday. Because I'm not.
Nah, you're staying, baby. Yeah.
Oh my god.
This leads us to our next match. The U.S. men's title match. Nakamura versus 1 L.A. Knight. Yeah. Honestly, this is probably the best match on the card for the night. Really a lot of back and forth going on. A lot of moments where you thought LA was going to win back his title, but eventually, due to LA throwing Jacob Fatu out of the building, we had interference from Tama and Jacob Fatu basically taking out LA until Jimmy and Cody came out and saved him which led to your main event for later tonight, Tama and Jacob Fatu versus Cody and Jimmy. I thought it was a very good match. Continuing the story with Jacob Fatu and the new bloodline. But really, I thought LA almost had it for a couple of minutes there. Your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, too soon to put the belt back on LA Knight. I think you got to give Shinsuke a little bit longer of a more respectable U.S. Championship run with the title, even though they didn't do that for your boy Jey Uso, but that's neither here nor there. Like I said, I appreciate the fact that Shinsuke's doing some of his best work right now, character wise, overseas as well as here in the States. And he's representing the U.S. Championship brand. He's carrying that title around over because they sure as hell wasn't finna give him the WWE nor the World Heavyweight. So the fact that he's able to carry that U.S. Championship and go to other promotions and work and represent WWE and the flagship that there is in wrestling, I think it's all good, man. It's all gravy. I think you can keep the belt on him a little bit longer. Let LA Knight chase. LA Knight is better chasing than he is when he holds the championship. So,
Yeah, I thought the match was great, and I was a really big fan of Tessitore and Wade Barrett on commentary talking about how this rematch, how it's something you don't hear every day on the commentary team. Like, you just hear about the storyline of, oh, this is why they're fighting and everything. You never hear about what about the rematch? This is a rematch. Like, what have they learned in the past from each other? And I just was really in that kind of commentary made it feel like it was like a legitimate, like, heavyweight matchup, like a heavyweight rematch of, well, if you remember the first time they did this, like, I don't know. It just had a more realism feel to it because of the commentary. And that's why I loved it so much, even more. Even with the interference at the end, I kind of saw that coming, but still felt good.
Question real quick. Did SmackDown, I wasn't paying attention. Did SmackDown get a new commentary desk too, a blue one?
I didn't pay attention. I think it's still the same.
Okay, everyone was wearing blue. That's why I really noticed more than anything. Yeah. Heyman had a blue undershirt. Everyone in the commentary desk had a blue undershirt.
Yeah. The refs have gray now, like a grayish blue ref shirts that they wear now. The mat's blue, obviously. Dang, that sucks though. That Raw only gets like that really nice table. and then SmackDown gets stuck with the same old commentary table. Like, yeah, just go ahead and use this real quick. It still works.
That's the hand-me-down brand. Come on.
Yeah, I guess Netflix probably paid for that table.
They probably did, to be honest with you. WWE is speaking very highly of Tessitore's work, him and Wade Barrett. I mean, they got praise for how they did the Raw post game show this past weekend on Raw, and then of course they come over here to SmackDown. They absolutely kill it running the SmackDown crew. So, I mean, yeah, it's really good. I have a couple thoughts, couple questions, but I'll save those for the Sunday pod.
Oh, okay, good. Because we got a show to run here. I mean, sorry, I'm petty sometimes.
Sometimes, like all the time, Fritos.
Fritos is just a little upset because Notre Dame has to play Ohio State now.
Nah, give me Ohio State, baby. We're on fire right now. Guess what? 20 mil straight to our bank account. Not spraying out through a conference. Screw a conference. Catholics versus everybody, baby. That's all that matters. Yeah. I'm really going heavy on the LA Knight. Sure, I understand. And it's series talking.
What is happening?
There we go.
Right now?
Which leads us to our next match as we carry on. A-Town Down Under versus Motor City Machine Guns. Like I said, this was the fallout from the tag teams arguing. It was a fast-paced match, a lot of heavy offense, but eventually Motor City Machine Gun took the win with the skull and bones, which I kind of do like this new setup for the Motor City Machine Guns versus El Del Santos SLR's group.
Those guys.
Because they're going to be, it's going to be a fun tag team match. It's going to be really high, fast pace, and high moves. So I'm really looking for the setup. So your guys' thoughts as Virgil's laughing.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously, it's going to be a fast-paced match between them. A lot of the, as Jim Cornette calls, the flippy stuff is what's going to be done in these matches. It'll be a lot of spots and everything like that. But at the same time, again, having a team like the Motor City Machine Guns in WWE only helps to make them help legitimize and stabilize the division and make everybody else look better within the division. So I'm very, very thankful that the Motor City Machine Guns are there. They're giving everybody good matches. And I really think that Triple H is just basically keeping the profits out until Mania, and they'll start from rock bottom after Royal Rumble probably, and climb their way all the way to winning the titles at Mania to finally get that Crown Achievement moment. Unless, of course, somebody leaves and goes to AEW, but who knows? We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I thought match was fine. I mean, it was predictable. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Good job by Motor City Machine Guns.
Which leads us to our next segment. It was a little bit of a praise for Tiffany Stratton cashing in on Nia Jax. Tiffany came out. The next thing you know, Nia Jax came out of nowhere and basically called her a ungrateful little shit. Mm-hmm. Which, she's getting a little bit of the Rock treatment being that family, so she's able to cuss. Then eventually we had Bayley show up, then Bianca and Naomi, which was interesting because Naomi did all the talking. Bianca really was just there for, backup, essentially. But then all chaos broke loose. Eventually, everyone was jumping on Nia. Next thing you know, Tiffany hits with the prettiest moonsault you've ever seen, which Nick Aldis came out and led to our next match of the night. Fatal 4-Way to determine who is Tiffany's first opponent for the Women's Championship. A lot of offensive moves. Some of it a little bit, I thought, botchy-ish at times. But eventually we get a point. We saw something where Candice LeRae comes out. You can see her holding Bianca's hair. Bianca didn't know who was behind her, but immediately, being self-defensive, turned around and hit Naomi right in the stomach with her hair. So we need to keep an eye on that because I think they're teasing a heel turn. I'm not for sure from Naomi, since she kind of took the lead in the start of the whole segment, or from Bianca from that attack. It's going to be really interesting to see what happens since we're still finding out who took out Jade. So it's going to be interesting. But eventually, Bayley is the one to win and come out as your first opponent against Tiffany Stratton. I think that's probably the right move for the first person. Bayley was talking about, like, she's undefeated against Tiffany Stratton. So I think this kind of helps cement Tiffany as your women's champion when she beats Bayley down the line.
Yeah. Like I said, Tiffany and Bayley worked the house shows last year together when Bayley was champion. So they have good chemistry together. They have good in-ring work together. It'll be fine. It's a safe choice as her first opponent. Like I said, I do think Nia Jax, as long as she cuts down on the botches, will give Tiffany a very good match when they do meet. But at the same time, I still think that it's very much a good idea to ease into that. There's no need to rush back to a Tiffany Nia Jax match. Also, one thing that I am keeping an eye on is obviously, where the hell is Jade Cargill? I've seen a picture of her that she posted on Instagram. I mean, on I think it was Instagram or X, one or the other. But that's about it. So time's a ticket. I mean, is she going to show up at the Rumble February 1st, or is she going to, show up, like I said, later on? I mean, I really don't know when she's going to happen to show her face again, but very, very interested to see what happens with that.
Yeah, I really liked this match. I kind of thought it was the match of the night just because of the spontaneousness of it. Just Nick Aldis coming out and say, hey, let's just do a fatal 4-way right now. You don't see that anymore. It's almost like Teddy Long coming out and saying, you're going one-on-one with the Undertaker, playa. And so I just really liked it.
Pause. I'm very proud of you for not saying Undertaker. You said Undertaker, as he would. I appreciate you.
I got you. Don't worry.
You're a real one.
But yeah, just a lot of good spots. A lot of the near falls is what got me, and just the timing of everybody breaking up the 2 counts. right at the perfect timing. And like you said, Virgil, Bailey's the safe option. You want Tiffany's first defense to be against somebody who has a good reputation, but also somebody who is a safe in-ring worker. And I think Bailey was the right choice for this one. And again, commentary, great job hyping up the match. And they even mentioned they mentioned Jade Cargill. They said we still haven't figured out who did that. They said we still have people investigating what happened that night. And so again, I love that kind of continuing the storyline, bringing that realism into it. I just thought best match of the night in my opinion.
Agreed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this takes us to your main event. Jimmy Uso and Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga. I liked how Jacob Fatu came out and is cutting promos. It feels like back to his indie days where he's talking mad shit. I love how they're giving him more.
Dude, that promo was beautiful, short and simple, but man, he called them out. I love what he said to Cody. You might be the nightmare, but this ain't Elm Street.
He's on fire. I want him to do more promos. I love it. I need him more talking, especially with a cigarette. I know he cut them out. I just want him to smoke one.
Wade Barrett on commentary said, Jacob Fatu was speaking, and I was trying to say, oh, he's actually a human. But then what he said, I got even more scared. So I'm like, that's perfect. That's perfect.
Then before that, too, we also saw Jimmy talking to Cody, talking about how Roman's entering and just going to go after the title and how it's not going to affect their, ability to work together. We also see a little bit from last week with Carmelo Hayes, mocking Jimmy, but Jimmy coming out on top and putting Carmelo in his place. So I'm liking how they're doing that storyline and keeping Carmelo still up there with the top guys. But we get to the match. A lot of hot offense eventually, but then Kevin Owens, of course, showing up nowhere, attacking Cody, which eventually led to a 2-on-1 and the new bloodline winning with Jacob Fatu hitting a moonsault, which I like the outcome. They're keeping the heat on the new bloodline, especially Fatu, because he's going to be your next big guy. He's going to be at least your big star on SmackDown, because tonight, I'm not going to lie, it was lacking the star power. But we continue on with the Kevin Owens and Cody feud, them fighting each other to the point where they're on top on of some boxes where Cody basically speared Kevin through some tables, and that's how your show ended. They're continuing on with this feud. I like the feud, but it's almost getting stale at the point. I'm ready for the Rumble to see the final outcome, kind of over them doing these sneak attacks, attacking each other and chasing each other, it's cat and mouse game. But I do like how Fatu secured the win, keeping that heat on him.
Yep, I mean, like I said, I'm right with you. I'm kind of ready for this to be done. I think it's run its course. Like I said, it's Raw seemingly presented an opportunity for new stories to be created that way. I'm ready for SmackDown to turn the page too. I assume they'll follow suit probably after the Royal Rumble. So you're looking at probably 2 to 3 more weeks of them telling these same stories. Get past Saturday night's main event. And then after that, SmackDown will begin to tell new stories heading into Mania. But yeah, I'm ready for them to close the chapter on this whole bloodline thing with Cody and, and the old bloodline and everything like that. Like, they lost that War Games. It's over. It's done.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's getting stale. It's the same. It's rinse and repeat right now with that booking with Cody and KO. Nice spot at the end with the tables. Thought that kind of gave us a nice little preview of what we'll probably expect at the Royal Rumble. As for the tag team match,
playa.
it was good, but nothing to go home about except Jacob Fatu, and I've said this before, I'll say it again, is unbelievable, and I cannot wait for them to really let him take off. But it was the right move. I am curious to see how they'll build the Jimmy storyline now, because basically Cody left Jimmy out to dry, and I wonder how that's gonna effect going forward, but we'll see.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. But if we're giving this show a grade, I give it a C+. I thought tonight was lacking in star power, some weak storytelling at points. But other than that, yeah, it was kind of hurting. Well, for example, Braun Strowman, I didn't know he was out with an illness. He posted on Instagram out with a fever for like a week. That's why he missed Raw and continued on. But I think once we get past Rumble season and this transfer portal, things will shake up in a good way. Your guys' grade for the show?
C+.
Yeah, I'll give it a C+ too. It had some good moments, but like you said, Fritos, it was lacking a lot to be desired. And you kind of said it in our group chat. It felt like a hangover from Monday Night Raw, and it's kind of it's usually like that for SmackDown. Unfortunately, after the big pay-per-views, SmackDown's the hangover.
Mm-hmm.
Raw usually gets the big one because you have the Raw after WrestleMania. You always pay attention to the Raw after SummerSlam, and then SmackDown's just kind of on those nights. So it was just one of those weeks, and I agree with you guys. Once Rumble season gets kicked off, then we'll start getting some better storylines.
I agree. But like I said, C's get degrees, ladies and gentlemen, but you know what doesn't? I don't know. I was going to do something stupid. But anyways, that's our show.
Good Lord, Fritos. Go to bed. Go get off of here. Once we finish the show, get off of here and go straight to sleep. Don't say nothing to Gab. Don't say nothing to the dogs.
No, we started Squid Games. I'm going to be watching that.
Go to bed.
Season 2?
Yeah, I just started season 2. Squid Games.
You're in.
Not sponsored yet. Not yet. We'll be soon. Hopefully.
Show Fritos.
All right. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, we can't do the show without you. So please like, share, subscribe to the podcast. Tell your grandma. Tell your wife. Tell your sister. Tell your cousins. Tell your best friend. Tell the person you hate at work to watch our show. Because we are on the road to 2,000 subscribers. And
2K.
guess what? Oh, is it 3?
2K. No, you're right.
Yeah, that's what I said. 2,000.
I just said I was backing you up. I was saying 2. You know what?
Oh, it sounded like you said 3. My bad.
Bitch, how you not a Hobbit again?
Exactly. We are on the road to 2,000 by Royal Rumble season. And if we do, I've got something special planned for you. I'm not going to do the show naked because I guess that's against YouTube guidelines. Ooh. But I will be dressed up in wrestling gear, and we're going to have a fun show for y'all. But anyways, this has been the SmackDown Throwdown, Lowdown, Hold Down, Pin It Down, Smack It Down, Eat It Out, Taste It Out. I don't know what out. But we are heading out.
Flavor Town.
We are heading out. I'm your host, the freaky one, Fritos. You got your man, the myth, the legend, Virgil, and the one I love the most, Coach. I love you, Coach. Have a great night, ladies and gentlemen.